We're back and we're live with Game 2 of LGD China versus TongFu. It's the Dota 2 Super League brought to you by Perfect World. It's their 1 million RMB coming out party for Dota 2. The game is now starting to be released in China. I can't even imagine how big the user base will grow once it's fully available, but for the time being, it's a pretty damn big tournament. 160,000 US dollars and change in total prizes approximately to be awarded. And right now, LGD, they took game 1 late. They thought they had it in the bag with a 6-slotted Sylar anti-mage, but they could not close the door on TongFu, who in the end proved more resilient and capable, took it late game. They now lead 1-0. They also have the invite to the International 3 that LGD originally had. LGD decided to drop Long DD from the roster. They replaced him with DD, and the problem for them was Valve didn't like that. Valve threw them down to the Eastern qualifiers, which LGD say they're okay with, but you gotta figure TongFu is pretty happy with how game 1 went. They'll be looking to close this in a clean 2-0 sweep here for LGD. They want to force game 3 and get ready for the Eastern qualifiers, which kick off in around 36 to 40 hours. I'm LD of Beyond the Summit. I'm joined here today by Luminous. Lumi, you hiding in there?
I am doing great. Actually, it was a long game, but I wasn't tower at all, which is completely a big surprise. But the drafts are flying quick and fast. Magnus is going to be opening here, and Mu will be playing that. Most likely Shadow Demon and Lone Drift for LG Gaming. But just want to echo your sentiment a little bit about the Dota Super League. It is the biggest kind of tournament in terms of prize pool outside of TI3. And I kind of just wanted to have a bigger support from the community. I mean, a couple of months ago, a month ago, we saw, there was some activity for a Korean kind of team, and we saw Reddit was all up on it. This is on a different level. This is, to me, this is the big thing in the East Asian side or the Chinese side, and I don't feel like the viewer number is reflecting the fact that it is the second biggest tournament in the world. Get the word out there. This is a big tournament. Some of the best teams in the world are playing constantly. It should be good games throughout all these days and weeks.
I'm pleased as punch with the number of people who've turned out today, to be totally honest. The Western qualifiers are starting soon, by the way, guys. So I think they might be starting a bit later today since there's only 2 games, but in a few hours anyway. I don't know the exact time, but be sure to check those out, twitch.tv/the GD Studio when they begin. But I mean, all things considered, I'm happy to see this many people tune in. I know for a lot of you, it's either very early or very late. Of course, we do appreciate all of you guys, even those from Asia who are getting to tune in at comfortable hours for themselves. But I don't know, Lumi, I'm feeling good about the viewership, and I hope we'll see more in the future. But with that being said, the draft is well underway, and I think the one big difference for me this game is LGD have gotten heroes that can end the game early and can break the base much more effectively. They get the Lone Druid, they get the Darkseer, but they still have to deal with Magnus, which means actually getting up to that high ground could be tricky anyway.
Yeah, as well as the Darkseer. I mean, a key vacuum could break up your combo easily. And it's while it's not exactly something you're gonna fight through, especially when you have a Dragon Knight. I'm somewhat surprised that DK pick came out so early, especially when the Darkseer is left in the pool. I personally would have banned the Darkseer on the second phase and then pick up the Dragon Knight after, because giving away a free Dragon Knight who generally take a ton of aura items, right? Either it's going to be drums halfway through, and then it's going to be Assault Curious later on. That's not something you want to give away for free, and that's what they set themselves up to. I'm not too sure whether I kind of am in love about the drafting order so far.
Well, let's see where they go from here. TongFu have a good defensive lineup. They have a good pushing lineup. Their lineup is balanced all throughout. The one thing I would say they're a bit lacking in is, I mean, that second source of damage. You're up against the Lone Druid. He's likely to have a good start. You probably want to pick up some sort of other carry or damage dealer. It could be a Formula Shrek. We saw that from LGD China last game, but didn't really feel like it accomplished much after that first 15 to 20 minutes or so. Wisp will get the ban in the second stage yet again. Seems like the more common thing in the Asian scene. We did see some first stage bans, Wisp bans from IG today, but I kind of feel this is generally the more suitable way to do it. Ban it in the second stage unless a team is particularly well known for their Wisp play. So LGD will get rid of it here. They don't want TongFu to have the option. This tells me, if I'm LGD, that maybe they want to spread the map a bit more. If you're planning to 5-man, the Wisp shouldn't scare you too much. It's annoying here to play against a general, but it seems like LGD may be looking to kind of split push, control the map, and play a bit more Starvation Dota than what these first 3 picks have led me to believe.
Yeah, that is a little bit dangerous, considering that the Radiant team is pretty good at split themselves with a great pushing with Shockwave, Flame Breath, as well as the Shrek. So I guess LGD could go for a little bit more teamfight oriented. Darkseer is a kind of an early setup already. They could go down the path and pick up maybe a Jakiro for a second support. One big concern is that TongFu's hero is naturally tanky. Leshrac can build tanky. And I'm not too sure whether they have enough damage output to kind of bring down Dragon Knight and Magnus. And we kind of saw from last game that you don't really need to have the most beautiful start on Magnus or on your carry because they go really, really late, just the hero alone. And we're going to be seeing something similar. Bane is going to be somewhat of a counter pick to the Lone Druid. Both Nightmare and Enfeeble, very good way to deal with that Spirit Bear.
Oh, they definitely need a second carry now. LGD are going to need an extra source of damage, and I imagine they'll go for it. Looks like a tri-lane Shadow Demon, a solo Lone Druid, possibly a solo Darkseer, or some other hero to take up that solo role. And maybe even something like a Gyrocopter could be the choice for LGD. Gives them lots of control. They'll go for the Sandcade now. They'll hold off on that second carry because I guess they just don't feel like they're in any rush to get it. TongFu are probably looking for one of their own with the Bane. The Leshrac, they've got two very serviceable supports now. The question is, what carry will they go for? I don't think we have Hal's hero yet. He has played a one-position Dragon Knight before, so it could be a Hal Dragon Knight, but it could just as easily be something that maybe Mu takes mid.
I think Moo's going to go with Magnus. TongFu did play a very similar kind of lineup here against Zenith on the AMD Premier League Grand Finals. Sponsored by Dota Talk. And that's exactly how they play it. How was on the one row DK, and then they have Mu. Maybe they will switch it up, but I imagine they could be drafting an off-laner here. And, whoa, okay, all right, we throw everything up in the air. So it's going to be how anti-mage, I suppose.
Well, an interesting choice from TongFu. They have a decent turtling lineup to give that anti-mage space and time, but it asks more of the Dragon Knight early, and he's a hero that can sometimes struggle to have a huge impact until he gets to, say, level 7 or 8, and even then, Dragon Knight's more a hero that chips away and finds a fight here or there, not really a hero that, like a Beastmaster or Magnus, constantly looks to be active. So TongFu looks like an off-lane mag, potentially this game, a solo mid DK, a defensive tri-lane anti-mage. I suppose if they wanted to, they could tri-lane the Dragon Knight, and maybe send the anti-mage and mag as their two solos, but I don't really think you could do that. And at the end of the day, whatever they choose to do, I feel LGD, they're going to have a Lone Druid with an easy 1v1 matchup, most likely, and I don't know what TongFu could do about that. So, a bit greedy, all things considered, I feel, to go for this anti-mage.
Yeah, I wonder what they have in mind. This seems like, if there's a game for anti-mage, SD, Kunkka, and not to forget that there is some vacuum bolt action. So the team fight and the ganks are all here, and not to mention there's some great laning to boot. But back to my point, this is one of those games you go quick Vlads on anti-mage. If there's ever a game to go quick Vlads, and you have some decent push, it gives you great armor. But here's Kunkka. Here's Kunkka.
It's Kunkka, man. I'm on a boat. I'm excited to see where Xiao8's going to take that boat. He's been playing the Kunkka. He'll be taking it, I imagine, into the tri-lane with DD as well as DDC, but he'll head towards mid for the time being, so maybe even going to see a pair of dual lanes from LGD. Let's introduce them, and then we can talk more about the lanes. On the side of LGD, we've got Sylar. He farmed more than anyone last game at 700 CS in about 65 minutes in. Yeah, that's right. Over 11 CS a minute, I believe, but wasn't enough. And in fact, it is over 11 CS a minute doing some quick mental math, but wasn't enough in the end. He'll be playing the Lone Druid, DD, on the Sand King, looking a bit more polished the more he plays. Feels like he's getting more, sort of shaking that rust off. DDC on the Shadow Demon support. Yao going to be handling that Darkseer. So Yao's taking it mid. And the last but not least, who are we missing? I think it's Xiao8 I didn't mention, playing Admiral Kunkka. And, sorry, he's the one actually going mid. Yao's just kind of hanging out, but he will be heading bottom.
Alright, it may actually be a dual lane mid situation. This is something that we've seen out of Cuphead and a lot of other kind of SD Kunkka combo. Run a mid, kind of shut down that solo carry, or solo mid. Solo mid, did I say that? The other mid hero, which is going to be handled by, I want to say King J, but like I predicted, it's going to be Mu, somewhat of a standard Dragon Knight solo mid. Mu's going to be handling the DK, King J going up top, and it's going to be that defensive tri-lane consisted of Hao anti-mage, Shansheng Leshrac, and we're going to have grounding it out Banana on the Bane element.
I mean, again, this is just the problem that was created by going for the anti-mage, is now King J has to go to the off lane. There's just nowhere else to put him because they need the anti-mage to get protected farm. He can't be in an aggressive tri-lane. Even in a defensive tri-lane, he needs the help of the supports to stay in that lane. Otherwise, Darkseer can... you can leave anti-mage 1v1 against Darkseer, but it means an absolute free farm Darkseer who gets the fastest mech of his life. Now top lane, King J with this haste rune felt confident, or no, sorry, didn't have the haste rune, but just wanted to, I guess, try and pull the creep wave. He's gonna pay with the burrow strike. DD has a burrow strike cooling down. The salve is here. King J's caught out of position. Can he get away? I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it. Nice body block. Is it enough? They need 1 or 2 more hits. 1 will do it. Down he goes. First blood. It looks like he wanted to pull the creep wave, Lumi, and I gotta say to do that at level 1. Pretty damn bold. Mid lane, Moo takes a torrent disrupt combo. Splitter dodged beautifully by Xiao8, but Moo able to walk away with 9 HP. LGD and a flurry of aggression off the bat find an easy first blood top, and then they find another kill mid. Was he just not expecting 2 heroes top? Was he just expecting a tri-lane bottom? That's the only other thing I can think of.
I think he was actually expecting a solo 1v1 matchup lane where that pool is completely free, and he went for it. Unfortunately, while Sand King really appeared out of nowhere, it's some beautiful body block. I thought they weren't going to be able to get that kill because, you know, level 1 Burrow Strike is a joke on Sand King, but when you add some body block as well as some perfect animation canceling from the Lone Druid, that was some beautiful first blood. And not only that, he missed the entire wave under the tower, which was his free level 2, and now it's finally getting back, but Sylar already hitting level 3, so it's going to be really tough here from the Magnus.
Bottom lane, Yao's managed to secure level 2 for himself, but you slow him down now, and Hao can deal with him very capably in a few levels, so they don't have to leave this Bane in the lane forever. Just for the time being, Banana can look to do a bunch of stacking and pulling. He'll check that bottom rune, and for the time being, King J trying to find level 2 on his own. That death really hurts him. It also gives Sylar a very, very quick start.
Mid lane disruption, Soul Catcher, Torrent. They're not probably going to get this kill, but they notice that Leshrac has left the lane, so a good time as any to make that dive. That's fine. They burn away a couple of salves. They burn away a little bit more regen. Does he have bottle yet? No, he hasn't flying out just yet, or walking out. Really needs that bottle badly right now.
So just breaking down the lanes further, it's a Magnus who's simply not going to do anything to this top lane. With the dual lane there, the LGD could shut him down with ease, especially with the first blood. And now mid lane, Moo and Sangchain, this is just not a very synergistic combo because there's no great setup stun. You have to walk in close to get off Dragon Tail. Torrent, as well as Disruption, however, is a great combo. They'll go in with the Blind Split Earth. That's one way to do it, but Sangchain is going to get caught, and now Torrented up. He's dropping fast. I think he's going to go down. He will. The killing power for LGD in this dual lane is so much higher. So they're losing mid, they're losing top. And in bottom lane, they're not fully keeping Yao out. So you got to look at this and say LGD is basically winning all 3 lanes in terms of what you would expect them to get versus what they're actually getting.
Yeah, and I mean, Moo's gonna try his best to use Flame Breath. He's level 3 in about 3 minutes of farm. Last game we saw the puck almost hitting level 6 by this point. That's kind of the big disparity, the big difference of how this lane is going. It looks like we're gonna see a rotation coming out from Banana as well. I'm not sure exactly what he thinks he could accomplish here, but I gotta venture it's not gonna be much.
I think the thinking is he's not needed bottom. Anti-Mage can deal with the Darkseer by himself, especially with the kind of start he had. Ring of Health is online. Problem is, he's only going to be able to do something if LGD go in mid, and right now they seem pretty content to sit back and just bide their time. TongFu's trying to bait them in to go, but LGD aren't taking that bait yet. And, I mean, looking at top lane, Sylar almost level 6. He gets level 6 soon. And they also picked into an anti-mage with 2 other incredibly farm-dependent, level-dependent heroes against a lone druid-centered lineup, which means LGD are great at pushing early. We've seen they can get kills with the Shadow Demon Kunkka, and they're going to go now. Actually, Disrupted to start, Torrent to follow, Moo gets caught. Where's that bait? He just started heading bottom, and it looks like they're going to find Moo. He will go down. Did they spot him rotating Banana? I don't know if he got to the ward, but it looks like just some good awareness from LGD, able to snipe a kill.
Yeah, he was here, but not here, so he's not getting anything done. I don't know how DDC lands the Soul Catcher. There were like 1 or 2 creeps in the middle of that big cluster, and he just still lands it. If you don't like that Soul Catcher, you don't get the kill. But he's landing it perfectly, all of them so far. So great play by DDC, finding these opening, and then also making sure they kind of maximize their damage output. And Xiao8 is suddenly going to be hitting level 5, level 6, and that's really where this lane gets insanely dangerous to lane against. You can't even come in because you'll just die from 100% health to 0.
And meanwhile, I look at top lane, I see a level 3 Magnus of 5 minutes in. That's alright considering how the lane started for King J, but it's not what you want. You run an off-lane Magnus, you hope for a 1v1 where you can get some early levels in farm. King J, that early death, really slowing him down, and just being up against the dual lane would have slowed him down a lot anyway, but the death really making it a lot worse, and I think for TongFu, they just kind of got to settle down, accept that they're not going to win the laning stage, and try to eke out what they can. Because forcing the issue, trying to be aggressive mid, rotate Bane there, and hope for some kills, ain't going to happen. LGD, patient and prepared, not giving anything easy
Again,
away.
Soul Catcher, Torrent, mid lane combo. Moo just drops about to a 25% health, pops his magic stick, and Dragon Tails off. And looks like Xiao's looking for the kind of the Tidebringer splash off to get that kill, but Shanshan getting away out of there. They don't get the kill, but it's completely fine. You can see that bottle being shared between these two on the mid lane. They will be bottle crawling. The support could easily rotate off like DDC's doing so to make sure they get the rune.
Bottom lane.
And
Yao's in trouble. He's on the run. They're waiting for the surge. Now they're going to sleep him, setting it up for an easy kill. There's a Mod Avoid available. Does How even need to use it? He will. No messing around from him. Yao's going to drop. Well execute a kill, and that's really what TongFu needs. This is the one lane they can win. The other two lanes, they're screwed. So they got to win this one. They get a crucial kill there. Good news, of course, for LGD is if this Darkseer wants, he can go into the jungle. We'll see what Yao does, but I feel like with the strength of their lineup is just their mid-game 5-man, and especially with Magnus being slowed down, TongFu's methods for dealing with that are going to be limited. So I'd like to see him go jungle, and it seems that's what Yao wants to do. Hopefully farming towards that fast mech now.
well, that means Hao is not going to be missing any single CS. He's just picked up Power Treads. He just picked up a Quelling Blade. So we're going to see one of the faster Battle Fairies out there, and that's exactly what they need to kind of put themselves back in this game because they're quite far. But when you have an anti-mage that's split pushing all of the map, kind of being a big nuisance, and if you look at the Dire team, they have a little bit of ways to deal with it. Of course, disruption to set up into a Torn. X marks the spot. It's going to be a big issue a little bit later on. So Hao won't get completely out of control until he gets a man style, but nobody's really stopping him just yet.
King J's managed to find level 5. He's still sticking in this lane. Mid lane, they're going to go with that combo. Sang Shang just explodes. What an easy kill. Oh my goodness. And good news for TongFu, they're not losing towers off of these deaths. The bad news is they're dying a lot, and they're now down by 2,500 gold and about 1,700 experience. That's a pretty hefty deficit for 7.5 minutes in.
Yeah, it really is. Then for the viewers wondering at home, like, why don't we see more SD Kunkka? It's so effective shutting down the mid lane. The reason you don't see SD Kunkka too much is that it forces you to, if you want to run it this way, it forces you to dual mid. That means one of your lanes is quite weak, but it's okay to have weak lane against TongFu in this particular game because TongFu is so greedy themselves. They're playing a very defensive support in the Bane. They're playing a defensive lane and anti-mage surge forward from DDC, trying to get the disruption move, nice juke into the jungle. Because TongFu is so greedy, you're allowed to actually put two people mid to shut down Moose so hard that he's not getting farm as well. He's got 23 CS and we're 8 minutes in. And of course Kunkka's got a ton more than 23.
That's a really good way to put it, is because they're greedy, you can get away with something that wouldn't normally be effective against. If TongFu would run, say, a very strong offensive tri-lane, they'll just completely roll that tri-lane. They can even go and put pressure on mid, smoke there, and you could easily see LGD falling apart. But given the way they laned it, this is fine. Oh, by the way, Sylar has an 8.5 minute armlet on a safe lane lone druid. 56 CS, sure. Hao's actually farming better with 60 CS. But the difference is, this armlet lets you take towers right now. The anti-mage's farm won't pay off until quite a bit later. So, for the time being, I wouldn't say TongFu's in a horrible position. It's not what they hoped for, but they are getting absolute free farm on that anti-mage. And this time around, I feel the team with the anti-mage, if they hang on long enough, they will take it late game with the amount of team fight, as well as just late game potential they have with Empower, Dragon Knight, and then anti-mage as well.
I'm not sure how you feel about this, but I think Gods and I kind of agreed when we saw Dragon Knight a couple of times in the AMD Premier League, is that he's one of those heroes that if he doesn't get ahead or is on parity compared to the enemy carry, he just doesn't kind of function as the Dragon Knight we expect mostly. He's basically runs in, drop off his Dragon Tail, drop off a nuke or two, and then just dies because he's under farmed, he's under leveled, and he's, I imagine, going to take this role in this game and buy room for anti-mage, which I guess is fine, but I just don't think that Dragon Knight is going to have a big impact this game.
I mean, you don't really pick him just to do that. That's something that's more suited for like a Beastmaster or even a Magnus, where they get their core items and then they don't need much else. But game goes later, and Dragon Knight is just basically as a single target stun if he doesn't have damage items. So I do agree with you. He has the potential for his presence to be felt, just because he benefits more from items and he doesn't offer as much without them. But he still is a stun. He's still tanky in the front lines with Dragon's Blood. He won't be useless. It just comes down to how useful the anti-mage can be to compensate, I feel. And still the good news for TongFu is King J's found level 6 top lane. Honestly, I'm surprised he's gotten as much as he had, and the reason is LGD outrunning a defensive tri-lane, so they can't easily smoke and gank top. They're dual laning mid, and if that dual lane disappears, it's very obvious They haven't been able to kill him, aside from that first blood. They'll go on bottom now. Banana gets caught, but bad chain stun from LGD. They'll combo the disruption with the burrow strike, so the burrow strike doesn't hit, doesn't matter.
There's X available. There's X available on Xiaowei. He picked up level 7, and that's a very good time to pick it up because Hao is going to get pushed on the bot lane. No, it looks like Kunkka teleported back mid.
Early Vanguard.
On Mage.
He's picked it up, and he's going to go fight right now.
I like this choice here, but Torrent Bolt's gonna come down the mid lane. Shanshan's gonna eat a bolt to the face. No, he dodged, he runs towards Kunkka, and he's doing a ton of damage to Xiaowei. Oh, offensive disruption right now. Moo's gonna run, but he's gonna eat a burrow strike as well as the Iron Shot on top of him. He does go down. The Mana Void would have done some huge damage because Kunkka complete out of mana, but nope, never got the chance to actually put it off.
Mage gets rooted bottom lane. They find 2 kills. They now lead 7-1. It's a best of 3, and LGD are trailing 0-1 right now, but they might not be trailing for long at the rate that they're rolling. Up by 4k gold and 3k experience, only 11 minutes in. Of course, they need more than this. They need to take racks soon, just because the last game makes you nervous if they don't have them, and you're an LGD supporter, I would say, more than anything. But I think they have a decent lineup to take it a bit later if they want. Hao with the early Vanguard really wants to fight. They'll grip Xiaowei right now. They'll blink in. Can they take the fight? They're waiting. They'll disrupt now at the last possible second. Shockwave is there. Finishes the deal anyway. RP is going to catch a bear and a wild Yao. Buyback immediately from Xiaowei. Into the fight. Back into the game. DD on the run. Gets stunned. Brought down quick. Boat to fly. Torrent as well. Catches 2. Wizard it up. Moo's alive, Hal's alive. Neither's gonna die just yet. Call it a Dragon Knight on the floor, but considering what they spent for that, a great turnaround from TongFu and Lumi. Uh-oh, Hal gets rooted. Might be in trouble now. X Torrent gets slapped, but the Torrent's gonna connect anyway. Hal blinks away. That's your Vanguard anti-mage for you, Lumi. Can't bring him down easy. Banana's on the run, dropping low. Not dead yet. They need one more hit. Can he get away? Banana's still running. The bear is there, and the bear says, hell no. KJ lurking in the trees, waiting patiently. The LGD gonna take a tower. Finally, they've worked hard. Maybe not gonna get away is KJ. No, he'll escape. What a crazy, chaotic fight, but I gotta say, Vanguard anti-mage looking rather legitimate right now.
Also, really good Bane's Nightmare of defensively on his ally. Give your hero a second of invulnerability, and you can actually take off the Nightmare, which is not what they end up doing, but enough time for Hao to actually survive that combo. Much as it's thanks to the Vanguard still. Not a bad team fight. They lost to tier 1 still on TongFu, but they got us some key kills out of that. Again, Dragon Knight hitting the deck like you said. He's going to be doing a ton of that this game, so get used to it. Is this where you kind of go into a Yasha and maybe even a Vlad to follow through and be like, alright, we'll take the fight to your face? Because I know you, with the early armlet, you're going to be taking the fight to us, so might as well get some early item instead of going for that Battle Fury.
I think they want to go. It's hard to say because King J isn't. Oh, we'll see. Stun on Yao now gets caught out. Splitter to follow, and he's gonna absolutely explode. Easily picked off. They do get a tier 1 bottom, but they pay. As a result, they're going to rotate everybody top. Hao, caught under the tower, eats a torrent, eats a boat, eats a burrow strike. Sorry, the boat's going to miss. Hao, if he doesn't get rooted, will blink away. Now Purge, where's that root? When you need it. Hao still alive, grip channeled on DDC, drops low, gonna go down. And now the RP catches out DD, Mana Void to fly as well. This anti-mage just living forever, but finally he'll die. King J rooted, King J down, Moo on the run, TongFu just somehow fighting source effort. And a day under the shadow of the tier 1, but now LGD giving chase. Banana likely to be next in line. That bear is out for blood. It's got the scent. It's gonna find the bait.
He's gonna want to get brain sap. No, he's gonna use Nightmare.
Ain't running.
And now back wall. He's gonna maybe trying to suicide to the tower. Yeah, that's what he's going for. Rather not give it to the carry, but carry gets it anyways because you gotta wait a little bit longer for the the game to say, all right, nobody's hitting you.
It was a cute play. Not much he could do. Sylar's up to 2.4k. This is scary. This is so much farm on that lone druid that I don't know if TongFu can stop LGD from taking all the outer towers in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
I guess it's not that bad considering the fact that your RP and your Lightning Storm and the Shrek Splitter combo still could actually just wombo combo them. Looks like X is gonna do a ton of work. Yeah, Skewer doesn't work like that. Oh my god, a big miss, but the boat will hit and King J will get vacuumed backwards. I gotta say, this Kunkka last pick is one of the smartest counter pick I've seen in a while. Look at him just straight up, well, he's on going 3-3-3, but that X leveling up, it's, look at them, they're trying to run.
Wait, what a man, he's gonna find Sanshade, frees him down fast, what a play. And yeah, like you said, this hero is really doing work. Disruption and Soul Catcher tossed out. Bane picked off. TongFu seem to be self-destructing here in game 2. Lumi just running in headlong into the meat grinder, and they are being grinded up and spit back out in short order. LGD, maybe they even threaten. Well, it looks like they want to go for the tier 2 mid. I was thinking maybe they'll threaten the high ground, but I imagine this is just a temporary feint, because actually breaking the base, well, maybe they can. They'll try now. No mech on Yao, but they're working on the Rex, or the tier 3, I should say. They're chipping away with an armlet, and now heading straight for a basher with the javelin.
Yeah, they got the glyph out. RP's back up. You should at least try to push a tier 2 instead of this base. You're clumped up here, and you're really taking a ton of time. Anti-Mage already destroyed tier 1. No, they really want to go for it. X, if you get a kill on King Cherry right here, it could be big. Skewer forward, not going to do too much. Mech's going to get popped, and this should be signed to back off.
I think it's like you said, you really just, they need to play it a little bit more patiently, not force it, and LGD will back off, which Hao got some time there to farm. He farmed, he also got a tier 1 bottom, and now is going to have, I mean, well, either the makings of a Battle Fury or a Manta style, whatever he wants to go for. He's getting the farm, and that's a bit of a concern. As far ahead as LGD might feel right now, it's 7,500 gold and 5,000 experience. That's a lot for 16.5 minutes in, but if this anti-mage goes, I mean, whatever he goes for, Hao is big enough, fast enough that he may be able to farm and stall this game until TongFu can take it late.
We'll have to wait and see what he actually spends it on. It's on the courier flying out here. It's going to be Yasha, so kind of your standard Vanguard into a Manta style transition. For me is that LGD has 3 towers to pick. Because they have a mech up on Yao, all he needs to do is stay back, maybe drop an Iron Shaw, and is how, like exactly he's doing right now. As long as he doesn't get caught in the RP, his team won't die, and they should be kind of high, more level enough, more item enough to really slowly siege us through. They will push down tier 2 basically for free, and they'll keep going.
The courier was thinking about heading out mid. It's going to pick up, I think it picked up a bottle. It's heading back. So Bottle Crow, they're going to try and break the base now. There's no glyph. The mech deployed. The bear's not been enfeebled. Where's the enfeeble? Finally, it's thrown out, but the damage already started to be done. Bear drop slow, might be sent home. LGD, this is what you want to do with this lineup. You get an early mech, you get the early armlet, and you just go for the jugular, and you do it fast. I like how they're playing it, but they haven't won the game yet.
Yeah, the split push is going to be annoying. There's no Battle Fury on Hao, but with this blink mobility, the fact that you can mold down Creep Wave relatively quickly, especially with a Quelling Blade, he should be extremely careful traversing through his own jungle because, again, X marks a spot. It has a very long cast range, this highly leveled, and he's going to be looking for the X.
Big smoke from TongFu. They're looking for a wraparound. They'll wait for the 18-minute rune, and then let's see where they go from there. They'll foray north towards the LGD dire jungle, but they won't find anyone. Everybody's busy grouping up towards the bottom lane, so both teams, like 2 ships passing the night, will not run into each other or spot each other. And in the end, I think TongFu, they'll just try and trade. I don't really think they want to fight right now. King J, no blink. There's just no way to take a fight.
Yeah, again, this is where I'm going to say that TongFu, sure, they're being down behind a ton of gold right now. Their late game, not bad. Again, whenever you have a Magnus, but it looks like Xiao is going to be initiating with the X. Torrent combo, where's the boat? It's going to not follow through just yet. They're going to focus on Shansheng. Nice Burrow Strike through. The Purchase on top. They are going to get a free kill. And the rest of the team says, alright, peace, man. We're going to get out. Good job. You're the only one dead. And good thing for them, they didn't lose too many other.
Hao as well as Banana are going to rotate towards that top lane. They'll jump onto DD. DD seems to be slow to react here. Now the grip on DD, but gets disrupted by DDC. What a play to bail him out. Mana Void won't be enough, actually. Hao will go down. I heard an RP. It catches out Xiao Wei, but he's mech'd up. The boat comes in. Gonna completely miss, just too slow to actually catch someone. Banana rooted and brought down fast. Now TongFu forced to back off. Well,
now you go mid if you're LGD because RP is down. And
oh, that's big.
Bane is dead for a bit, and Anti-Mage not exactly pushing any lane. They also have the Creep Equilibrium on their side, so yeah, LGD just rushing down mid like a maelstrom of tides, just going for the... If you get a Rax here, I want to call it game, but we'll see.
I wouldn't call it game, but I would say it's going to be very hard for TongFu to come back.
Yeah,
Rex
definitely.
this early, very difficult to deal with, and well, the bear has a basher, so if it finds a bash, that's pretty much a kill with Torrent as well as X to follow up. Moo comes in, he'll probably stun this bear. He gets the stun off, he gets X for his trouble though. No RP, like you mentioned, the bear taking some decent damage from Hao, who's close to a Manta style. That could be the item that turns this game around, and with Enfeeble, well, the Bane respawns the time, and they can't actually damage the tower.
Shockwave, Lightning Storm, Split Earth, Dragon Breath. The Creep Wave just dies. There's no pipe here. So maybe LGD cannot actually push through as easily as I imagine. So
it's where you want two carries who can hit the racks, and Kunkka just isn't a hero that can do that. They'll disrupt now. They're gonna catch potentially a mag. Actually, that Torrent on two. Boat comes in as well. Sanctuary's gonna melt. King J to follow. That's two dead, and now TongFu trying to fight the way out. Yeah, Hal's gonna blink away. Not rooted, not bashed, but on the run. Banana caught and brought down. Now the burrow, the epicenter, the Torrent destruction and annihilation. The order of the day for LGD. They're gonna find a few, and LGD, in spite of fighting a few, haven't actually finished the base yet. They'll lose one here. Hal's still kicking. He's farming now more than Sylar, who gets a root. Needs to bring down King J. Can't quite do it yet. Disruption is
back
there.
up soon.
And here we go.
RP's back up soon, and look at King J's pestering, trying to get that RP off. No, but the rest of the team is just melting. Dragon Knight's dead. There's an X on the Bane, and Bane's gonna be followed through, but looks like Shockwave's gonna come in. They're gonna kill the bear. Shao A's on the run. He could turn around and hope for a big splash, but no. Anti-Mage is here as well. Gonna get his Lothars off. Anti-Mage blinking forward, now looking for DD. Wow, he's just gonna solo kill everybody. Burrow Strike to at least give himself a stun, but Blink coming off cooldown. DD is just so annoying here.
I was really playing cleverly, and frankly, it does feel like LGD's a bit lackey in terms of the damage to kill him. DD's gonna make a run for it. There's your blink, and then the surge to keep him alive. Nice teamwork from LGD. But TongFu, they hold on to their racks, Lumi. They didn't actually even lose the tier 3. That's a really solid defense, and to defend it, I mean, let's be honest, it cost them a lot. A Magnus buyback, a DK buyback, and a Bane buyback. That's 3 buybacks to hold on, but hold on they do, and now Hal is working towards his next item.
Yeah, those buybacks aren't terribly expensive. We're only 20 minutes in the game, so the cost is, I want to say, like 600-700 gold, so it's not that bad. Your anti-mage survived. He was able to pick up a couple of kills. He's got a Manta style done, so this is, you know, all on how to actually put us the entire team on the back. Is this where you go back for that awkward build and go back to your battle fair and start farming away? Or do you kind of just say, all right, let's get an MKB or let's get a Butterfly and take the game away?
It's hard to say. Bottom lane, Torrent as well as the boat come in. Moo is going to take a lot of damage. And then Soul Catcher. No, actually, sorry, that was a Purge. And now DDC forced to back off. Vacuum on 2, Burrow on 2. Great teamwork. And now the RP will be denied by a timely disruption by DDC. King J is forced to skewer away. Banana, X, Torrented. Burrow strikes to follow in a matter of seconds, I imagine. No, where's that Torrent? It's going to come now. Burrow 2, and Banana will drop. Oh boy, LGD are just finding such good engagement, so much setup stun, so much follow-up, and they keep on killing. But they're not killing Hal, so you do feel like there's that niggling sense that maybe, just maybe, TongFu are still in this game.
Yes, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anti-Mage is farmed, but this X is basically setting up free kills on whoever he actually put it on, because right now a single X means that the tanky LG lineup could just run in, and TongFu is not in position to take a fight. The only thing that LGD has to worry about is an RP, and so far the RP isn't hitting 4. It's not, in fact, it's only hit like 2. That's not enough right now. It looks like LG is going to seal the deal by, or at least trying to do so, by taking the Roshan. Anti-Mage should the double damage, still pushing away, 1900 go to the bank. I think buyback is what he have in mind, at least for the near moment. Maybe looking for a bigger item soon though.
I feel this upcoming push, LGD have to take racks and not take a lot of losses. I don't think it's enough to take a lane of racks when Hal's farming this well. He didn't have the fastest start, he didn't go for a...
Blinks up on Magnus.
Well, let's see what he can do with it, but TongFu are smoked up. I don't think they want to take the fight outside of their base. If they have to buy back, this is not really the position to do it from, as getting there will be very hard, and wisely I feel they will back off.
But sorry, I cut you off. You're saying that LGD can't really kind of trade their life for racks?
Yeah.
They have to win this clean, right?
I feel they really do, because otherwise, Hal's going to get that next item, and then I don't think LGD can really deal with them, to be totally honest. Not unless they're 3 or 4 on 1. We saw what happened when 3 heroes were at half HP. Hal just drives them all away. Imagine if he has 1 item up on you. Then it's even easier.
Well, you can see that right now the rest of the team is buying a ton of room for how to actually split push up top. It's hard to push in because of the AoE. You gotta leave with your Kunkka because he has X. He could actually just kind of initiate and displace, and that's exactly what he's doing to Moo. Moo initiate, drops a couple stuns. He's not gonna get paid for it, so X is gonna be on cooldown for a bit, and they will still hold. The bear going up the high ground gets hit off. Imita and Feeble, they're doing a very good job protecting that siege arena, using that bear to tank. Burrow Strike's gonna whiff. Surge forwards, Glyph is not even gonna use. Where's that anti-mage? Just not telling both back in wall, a ton of deeps. RP's gonna follow through, skewer backwards. There's a skewer back into tier 1 tower. Where the hell is the anti-mage? Anti-mage comes to the party way too late. The Burrow Strike comes off. How in the middle of the fight, but he's got to blink back out.
That was I'm pretty sure that was a 5-man RP, and it didn't even matter. LGD, their entire team got caught, and then skewered as well. That was a godly RP. Irrelevant, apparently. LGD, they don't even lose their ages. Holy crap, they are far ahead to get RP'd like that and just shrug it off. That was the big coming out party in terms of the Blink Dagger being unveiled. Didn't matter. That's scary, and that's a bad sign for TongFu. That was literally the best RP you'll ever get at this point in the game. Incredible to get that off. Didn't matter. I'm baffled.
I'm gonna put it on how, if you look at Darkseid's mana pool right now, throughout the fight he dropped the wall, that was his mana pool. Can you imagine a mana void on middle of that RP? That would have been a grand motherfucking slam right there. It never happened because how was split pushing up top? I understand split pushing is important, but when your team is on the brink of being down racks, you gotta TP back on a good time, and that RP, holy crap, it could have just it completely could have defended that.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Hal? What are you doing with your life?
Well, I don't know. Even if it was there, it might have helped them get a couple extra kills. I still feel like LGD are just too tanky, though, to be honest.
I don't know, man.
These heroes...
Mana Void, have you seen those Sing Sing videos?
Right, have you seen Yao, who has 1,700 health and a mech? This hero ain't dying. Neither is Sylar in Lone Druid form. He doesn't even care about that 600, 700 damage Mana Void. He'll shrug it off. These guys don't go down easy. I definitely agree he could have been there sooner. Might have made a difference, but I think at that point, the damage was going to be done to the racks regardless, and end of the day, I don't know, Lumi. Can TongFu take this? How continues to farm? You still have that sense, at least for me, that TongFu aren't out of it. If they get that fight again and Hao's got a butterfly, I think it's a much more convincing fight for them.
No, TongFu is still definitely in this. Down racks, you know, whatever. They have enough AoE to kind of slow down this push. Moose, level 11. We kind of predicted this with Dragonite feeding early, not getting too much in lane. He is going to be a poor man versions like Beastmaster. Kind of very, very aptly put by LD. And here comes LGD. Going to be smoking in. Kunkka, he's already got a Demon Edge. He's going to be looking for the big crits.
Yeah, and this is a nice choice. This is how you deal with those anti-mage illusions. It's also how you deal with the high armor of Dragonite. You just don't even focus them. You just hit a creep, and suddenly they melt. In comes Xiao 8 under cover of smoke, like you mentioned, but not going to find anyone. He'll go back to the creep wave instead, and truth be told, they do want to get the side lanes pushed in. LGD, I imagine we'll see someone rotate top. Indeed, it's Sylar, and for them, there's another timing window. They've got the Assault Caress. It's kind of like a new lease on this game where they can wait a bit longer. Now, the Blink Dagger, as mentioned, on the Magnus was picked up earlier. DD's got his on the Sand King, too. So some big items coming out for them. I would say this extends their ability to go for the second lane of racks by 5 to 10 minutes. But you go much beyond that, and then Hao's going to have a Butterfly and his next item. So this is still a window for LGD. It's a bit of a wider window, but it's still a window. Let's see if they can push their way through.
Yeah, LGD is focusing on buying items to win right now. You can see double Vitality Booster on Darkseer. And whereas TongFu is going for the longer game with Hao trying to, again, he's split pushing, split farming. There's an X on Mu. Mu is basically assigning himself to this fate. I'm going to be the frontline tank. I'm going to just eat a ton of spells. He does have buyback available as well, so Dragon Form is going to be used, stunning the bear. They just want to delay as long as possible. Hao is in this fight. Yao surging forward here, trying to look for that vacuum wall.
Watch for the RP. King J is smoked up, and is he going to go? He's looking for a jump. Not just yet. He'll throw out a shockwave. No more smoke for him. There's your RP. Catches two. Hao jumps in immediately with the butterfly, which he just bought. I think he just mono void Sylar. It did almost nothing, but Xiao 8 on the run. May go down. It looks like TongFu are driving the back. Sylar's going to drop. He does have the Aegis. He'll come back now. Buyback from Xiao 8. Looks to rejoin the fight. He's got a TP to his tier 2. Hao's still alive. He's healthy as well. Burrow catches 2. Where's the follow-up? Where's the bash? Hao not getting bashed. Hao man-moding with this butterfly. Seems like he might be winning the fight. Finally, he gets disrupted. That will put an end to his aggression. Driven back by his own illusions. They bought back from Xiao 8. They blew the Aegis. They lost their Lone Druid again, and all they got was a tier 3 tower. A big victory for TongFu, and it was all set up by Hao completing his butterfly before that fight. Wasn't getting bashed, wasn't taking damage, able to find a bunch of crucial kills.
And Mood didn't die there, so excuse me. He's gonna have BKB finish. He's on his hero now. He's gotta look for the Mana Void on the Darkseer though, not on Sylar, not on anybody else. Because anytime that he drops a wall, drops a mech and vacuum combo, he's done of mana. So you blink in, one hit him, and then just Mana Void, and it will be huge. Kind of suspect that he dropped it on anybody else. But in any case, they defended. They won the team fight. They got some item on their DK and anti-mage. They just, again, turtle and hold. Down 1 Rex, it doesn't matter that much.
It was like you mentioned earlier, Moo is just a red herring right now. He's not the hero you want to focus if you're LGD. Sure, he's got a BKB. Sure, he can stun heroes, but he's just not the crucial hero right now. The crucial heroes are the heroes that you can kill easily, like the Bane, the Leshrac, and the heroes that are doing the damage and winning the fights, like the Anti-Mage and the Magnus. That's who LGD have to focus. The one issue is, they don't really have a great pick-off hero. Sure, they have the kind of cheeky little disruption torrent combo, but that doesn't instantly kill anyone. They don't have RP, they don't have Flaming Lasso, they don't have that great initiation to go high ground. They have Bear to Siege, but they don't have a Batrider or a Magnus, and I feel that's really hurting them right now, and one of the reasons why we see them struggle to fully breach the base.
Yeah, you're completely on point on that. Until maybe DDC finishes 4-staff and you get some Ferrari-esque 4-staff forward for a pick-off, and that's not something you can rely on at all. So TongFu looks like they're getting ready to smoke up, and Teammage gonna take the forward position. Hey, why need Battle Fury when you have Empowered? Because skill's fair, man.
Well, that's the one thing we didn't talk about, is Hal has a miniature Battle Fury of his own. Not going to be something you can rely on throughout the game, but in certain situations can make a difference. They'll smoke, they'll head towards Roche. Roche coming up very soon. TongFu hoping to trap LGD or at least get some big wards up. And LGD, they're not near the pit, and I feel the lack of vision for them. Sure, they've got 2 wards here, but you'd maybe like to see a little bit more control over the map aside from that. Could come back to haunt them. TongFu haven't placed a ward yet, though. I'm a little surprised they didn't do that either. They're just going to back off. They had a gem on Sangcheng. Actually, they don't have any Observer wards. Do they not have any in the shop? No, they have a set, just haven't bought them yet. Well, they smoke hoping to find a bone, or get a bone at Roche, but they don't.
Yeah, so I want to talk about kind of the last game, how it started. Remember when Mu had trouble in the mid-game, Pug found a really quick blink from LGD. So LGD is finding these laning advantages. Same thing with this game. They're up by 13 kills, they're up by 10 of gold. But again, let's just for the moment pretend that LGD is going to lose this game in the long run, which is quite likely.
Yeah,
not 100%.
I would say most
possible.
likely, if it goes late enough, they should lose.
Right. So, I mean, you got to question, LGD is finding some of the best way to start the game, but they just can't close out games. What's the deal here?
I think it's less anything wrong with their play and more just the lineups.
The draft, right? They don't have initiation, like you pointed out.
Well, I mean, last game they didn't have a great hero to siege, right? And this, sure, they had Anti-Mage, but he's not a lone druid. By the time he can siege, the game's already quite late, and they also had to go against one of the best turtling lineups ever with a Batrider, as well as a Silencer and a Magnus. I mean, just so much counter-initiate, so many heroes that can just find kills and stall the game. In this game, well, they have that hero to just chip away at the towers early, but the problem is they're up against a lot of split push, and they're also lacking, like you just mentioned, the initiation. So I wouldn't say it's a draft mistake. I would just say this is one of the vulnerabilities of their draft. But they'll go in now. They'll catch Hal with the Burrow Strike. Can they bring him down? That's the big question. Towards the fly, boat 2. Will he blink out? He won't. He tanks the boat to the face. Moo. No bashes on him just yet. And LGD, well, Kunkka boat has a very low cooldown, so not really a big deal, but it just shows you how hard it is to kill these heroes of TongFu.
Yeah, if you're anti-mage, you pick up a basher right here and suddenly say, alright, I not only am going to be an unkillable force, I'm actually going to threaten to kill your support or whoever I focus. Vlad's might not be a bad choice either here, giving his team a little bit more tank ability. But both teams going to be hovering around the Roche pit. This is where having a hero like Anti-Mage is godly. Simply the fact that he is going to be a big threat in terms of split push, but they got to get ready to go into that pit. Roshan's down to about half HP, and nobody's really in position. Anti-Mage got to run himself in. He buys a BKB, so he doesn't have buyback, and the BKB is not being delivered just yet. They're going to lose Aegis for free.
Wow. Didn't get the wards up earlier. I think, obviously, you know the Roche is happening right now, so pretty much a team decision from TongFu that we can't take a fight at Roche. We'd better back. Which means, well, LGD have another shot to kind of end this game. Let's see if they can do it. Courier's coming out. It'll get the BKB there in time. How? Needs a teleport scroll. He'll go inside the trees. He's going to teleport out. So good map awareness from him. And LGD get another Aegis Sloomy, but For me, it's not getting the Aegis. It's what do you do with it? They haven't been able to use it successfully since the first one.
And to me, I think BKB pickup on Anti-Mage probably one of the smartest items. If you look at what's actually against him right now, there's not really enough physical damage to kind of burst him down through the Vanguard and BKB, and of course he has Butterfly Evasion. And if he pops BKB, blinks on the back line, what do you actually do? You stick the bear on him and hope it tango, but he can manta out of that. I think that your backline support just die.
You know, you hope to purge him, disrupt whoever he's focusing, and get maybe a big Kunkka cleave. But yeah, you're pretty much right. They don't have a great way to deal with them. They don't have RP, they don't have Lasso, they don't have Global Silence, they don't have some really powerful lockdown. They have kiting spells like Surge and Purge, but they don't have a full solution for how. And the one full solution may be disrupting him and getting 2 anti-mages of your own, but...
Ooh, actually, your bear does have a Basher, so in between Basher and Tango...
Right, but like you said, there's evasion, there's a Butterfly.
Sure, yeah, maybe not, so it's tough here for them to deal with how.
And it evolves into a classic 4 Protect 1 at this point. TongFu will leave 4 heroes in the base most of the game, and they'll send Hao out to keep the lanes pushed out. Even if he dies occasionally, that's okay, because he's delaying the game. And eventually, if he gets big enough, I mean, LGD's up by 12k gold and 7k experience. It doesn't feel like it for me right now. It feels like it's an even game.
Yeah. 2 games in a row where a team leads by a ton of gold, and it doesn't feel like they're leading. Here comes...
I mean, they're the ones who are closer to losing. If they lose a big fight, they just lose the game. Whereas LGD with tier 2s up mid and bottom have margin for error. But... I mean, in terms of an even game, I mean, I feel like TongFu has a great chance to win this game, which the gold graph would not suggest.
Yeah, really, this is a good time to actually quote a little bit from Brax, and don't say this is Lumi Asian fanboy, because I'm paraphrasing from Brax, is that he thinks Alliance and Team Liquid will have no chance against the Asian teams, the Chinese teams, in the G1 LAN finals. But talk about that later, because big push is coming in.
Bear gets done. Now Moo caught by that X, but really, do you want to go in on him again? He's kind of a red herring. Bottom lane, Hao's pushing. He'll try to draw them back. The enfeebled bear is not even affecting the tower. He's stunned, and then stunned some more, and then stunned for good measure, and driven back. And while this is happening, Vacuum catches 3. BKB is thrown out. They need kills, and they need them fast. Moo will drop. They get 1. Gem hits the deck. Actually, call it 2. A big cleave from Xiaowei does some dirty work, but Anti-Mage is here, and Anti-Mage has a BKB ready to go. There's your RP! Catches 4! KJ out of his mind this game! Another huge RP! Good luck breaking the base against him! Sylar running. Ain't gonna run from Anti-Mage. Ain't gonna run from Hao. What a hero King J has been this game. Gives up first blood. Really, you would almost say failed that top lane at first, but boy, he scrapped and crawled his way back in, got the levels, found the blink, and just delivers a whopper of an RP to keep TongFu's hopes not only alive, but even give them a big boost.
Middle barracks are under attack.
If TongFu had any other carry hero aside from an Empower Anti-Mage, I say that was an okay fight. You lost 4 hero, but you got a melee Rax, but that melee Rax to me is a Pyrrhic victory, because yeah, you got a Rax, but Anti-Mage could easily defend that. He did defend 2 lanes by himself, and that's exactly what he's doing. So Anti-Mage doing more work, again, being there when the RP lands, being there to drop the huge Mana Void, and teamfight gets ridiculously easy as everybody's trying to run from an Anti-Mage, and obviously, spoiler alert, you can't run from an Anti-Mage.
Again, it's just LGD don't really have that great hero to start the fights. That fight was started by a vacuum into a wall. The problem is, there's just not a whole lot of follow-up to that, unless you hit a big burst.
They burst down DK through BKB, which is pretty impressive to say the least, but I mean, it doesn't matter because King J drops an RP on your whole team, so...
And Hao's gonna go for a Basher now, so he really wants to be able to man-fight anyone, and this means if he jumps on Xiaowei, even if he jumps on the bear, if he gets a lucky bash, the bear's gonna die. Maybe not the hero right away, but certainly the Spirit Bear, and that's the majority of LGD's damage. Unless Xiaowei gets a really lucky, not crit, but cleave, there's just where he hits everyone and they're low enough that he can kill them. The bear's everything, the LGD, and we're just seeing the power of Enfeeble to deal with Lone Druid. It was a hero that for a while was never picked, but ever since Lone Druid's risen to prominence, even more so over the past couple of months, so too has Bane risen in prominence as a way to deal with that Lone Druid, and we're seeing it here, limiting his ability to take the Rax. They took it eventually, but if there's no Enfeeble, they take that Rax easily, and they don't really have to work that hard.
Yeah, Enfeeble also has a really long cast range, so your Bane Elemental doesn't get into dangerous position and gets caught out by X, for example, in this game. But yeah, going to quote back Brax thinks that the non-Asian teams won't have a chance in the G1 LAN finals simply because they don't really have the experience that the Chinese teams have in the ultra late game. Like in a situation like this where you're down by 10,000 gold, TongFu doesn't even feel like the pressure, or at least judging from how we're watching, because nobody gets picked off. There's no roaming support out there to go for a ward and gets picked off. It's constantly people that, like Anti-Mage outside, if he dies for whatever reason, he has buyback. It's just multiple layers of security, and everybody has a kind of a presence in mind.
Everybody has a job, and they're executing it properly. Moo's there as the bait in the front lines. King J is there to turn the fight when it looks bleak, and Hao shows up at the right moment to clean up. So it just feels like they're very orderly in their fights, and that is something some Western teams at times have struggled. I would say Alliance actually is one of the teams that I really feel knows exactly what they want to do. I agree with that one.
I agree with that one. King J, look at how smart it is. Half the team smoked up from the north. Everybody think that King J's in the base right now, and they might pull a quick one on them. Here comes Xiao8. He might run straight into the enemy team.
Oh, Xiao8. I think he was trying to clear out a smoke there, just devilishly marching in. They've got 2 melee ranks. If they get 3, it does look very good for them. Can they do it?
On Mu. Mu does have buyback here, so that could be somewhat dangerous.
LGD just patiently waiting this out. There. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this, although I showed it, but Yao, he's had a sight device for about a minute or 2 now. This could be maybe the game changer if you get a well-timed mix.
Well, it's gotta be.
I think it's the Magnus you really want, because he's not that stirrable. He's only got a blink. Turret comes in, the bear dropping low. Hao's just manning up on it. The boat is going to be dodged by the Manta style, but Hao is psyched up. Isn't accomplishing much with that sight. Now the Purge deployed. They won him bad, but Yao's the one to drop. He drops real fast. RP is thrown out. Epicenter is here. DD waits and then jumps out, pounces. Crouching Sand King hit an Epicenter, but it ain't enough. Now Hao bashed mid Mono Void cast animation. Blinks forward anyway. LGD, how hard it is to actually finish that damn base. Ooh, Banana almost had a sleep. Couldn't quite get it. They want the bear. Top lane's pushing in. Gloomy, they're defending, but still they're taking a lot of structural damage to do it.
I think that was a mistake by TongFu. They chased out for a Spirit Bear instead of a TP. I think they could have defended it if they TP immediately. So TongFu dropping the ball a little bit slightly, but the big thing is your anti-mage got a ton of kill. Again, it was, what, they even lose a tier 3. In fact, the tier 3 didn't even take any damage. It's full HP right now. So if you're TongFu, you gotta be pretty happy with how this game is going. Unfortunately, Magnus died, so there's no Empower on Hao for a couple more seconds, and that's why he's having a little bit of trouble pushing out. But that is an abyssal finish with buyback gold to boot. And I also want to point out, I'm surprised that Hao did not even pop his BKB. He ate a bolt to the face. I guess he dodged it with Manta. He also ate an Epicenter to the face. I was like, alright, this is where you pop BKB and go man mode, but he didn't even need to do it. And that's a good sign from LGD, where an item activation, one of the most important item activation not being used, and they still win a lopsided team fight.
It's kind of like a race for LGD to see if they can. They're throwing bodies at the racks at this point. Can they get the racks before TongFu get too many items where they can lose that racks and then just go win the game in the ensuing counter push? I mean, it's where LGD really want to have buyback on everyone, so they can take the racks and then die if they need to. Buy back and defend. Once they have mega creeps, if they're able to get them, which, I mean, if they take that melee racks bottom, I think they will eventually. Well, they're going to find a pick off here. Sangshay gets caught. Going for an aggressive ward, wants to stop that Roshan. He'll pay right now. Not the biggest stat, but it's something. He's forced to buy back, in fact, which, well, with Roche respawning, they don't want to give this one up. Can they fight at Roche, Lumi? That's now my question for you.
No, I don't think they want to. They being TongFu, they basically want to push out the creep equilibrium, because with 2 Braxes down, if TongFu is straight up defending their base, it'll never get pushed in. But the creep, if it's really gonna force TongFu eventually to go back to defend, Anti-Mage now blinks in. He doesn't care about dying because he's got Battle Fairy, or excuse me, Butterfly and BKB, so he should be fine.
He can solo this so
yeah, he can.
Fast.
He really can.
By the way, there's a Vlad's on Banana on top of the gem, so there's your lifesteal for this nearly maxed anti-mage. This is scary. They're gonna
and now if they get,
and here's Roche.
Now if they get 3 more blasts, then they win the game. Because Hao is just going to carry.
It was your recipe last game. Well, yep. Hao's taking Roche down. It's dropping fairly fast. DDC is going to throw up poison. That sets up a torrent. from Xiao8. Now the bear marches in, but TongFu have the better positioning up on the high ground. If they stay
Sold
there,
the Vanguard.
first hit
Sold the
back.
Vanguard.
Is he going to drop here? Hao sells the Vanguard like you mentioned. He jumps in with the BKB. Nope, actually still has the Vanguard. Going to work. RP's there. How can he do the damage? Look for the Monovoid. Where is it? No Monovoid just yet. He does end up dropping it. Doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot. Yao driving move back. Now Hao going to work. Kills off the bear. Goes back for Roche. Top lane is pushing in, but not fast enough. Roche is about to drop. I don't see LGD defending this Lumi. It feels like they're getting anti-mage. I don't know if they can deal with Hao anymore.
Yeah, he dropped the Vanguard on the ground thinking that he'd pick up the Aegis, but I thought he sold it. It was on the ground. So it was Aegis and Cheese now. Cheese is now on the Bane Elemental. Aegis on Magnus. Great choice, because if you ever win a team fight against TongFu, you pick off King J. That's kind of the only way. Now that avenue of initiation is out of there. And where do you go from here from LGD? I have no freaking clue. I think this is where you kind of finish your data list, farm for about 20 minutes on Xiao8, get a Divine, and hope for some big crits, because I just don't see it any other way.
That being said, TongFu are down 2 lanes of Rax. Bottom lane is
at
full HP, but one good push could end it. So TongFu, yeah, it looks good for them right now, but they've got a tall order ahead of them still to break LGD's tier 2s, to break their Rax, to keep all the lanes pushed out. LGD still have some tricks up their sleeve, so I wouldn't count them out either, but it does have that sense of inevitability about it now, where TongFu just keep on gaining the momentum. They keep on losing fights to Anti-Mage, and Hao is able to solo anyone at this point. There's nobody who can deal with him. The Bear can't deal with him. The Kunkka can't deal with him. Even the Shadow Demon, well, maybe can deal with him if he gets off a good disruption. That could be their saving grace. But with BKB and Abyssal, good items to kind of counter disruption, and just burst the Shadow Demon down before he can get it off, I don't know. It's tough. It's very tough for LGD. Rare to say that when you're up 2 lanes of Rax, but this is just one of those games.
Yeah, until TongFu Hao makes a mistake, which is not saving for buyback, it's going to be tough. Because since the last Roshan fight, which is, I want to say 35 minutes in, so 10 minutes ago, he's been saving buyback on every item purchase. And it's just almost difficult, almost impossibly difficult to kill him twice. With 35% evasion, with 22 armor, with Manta, the fact that he can fight you back, and BKB. It's going to take a tier 2 for free.
They'll take a tier 2. I think it's time to go push bottom and top back out if you're TongFu. You already have Roche. It's not respawning anytime soon. They can actually kind of starve LGD simply because anyone who gets caught by Hao dies, whereas anyone gets caught by Kunkka or a lone druid, maybe they die. It's just a much greater threat of being picked off, and Hao by himself can just kind of outpush LGD, who are terrified, by the way, and just going to hang out in their base.
Yeah, they were only moving through the jungle, but LG expecting a smoke because everybody's off the map. I guess one kind of sad thing for TongFu is that they're farming these 20 gold creeps, and sure, they're farming a lot of them, but they don't give any really real gold. The Shrek, not really close to any item. He's got 2k gold, but again, he's saving for a buyback, so not really a real item progression in any case. But the longer the game drags on, you gotta keep in mind that LG is not farming 2 creep waves. Even though they only give 20 gold, there's still 20 gold.
Yeah,
TongFu's farming them.
They're always pushing in, and in that sense, they are a burden for TongFu. But of course, the blessing is you get to farm them at your base, and they're coming to you. So you don't have to go fight them. You don't have to put your body on the line nearly as much as LGD do. If LGD want to go farm, they've got to farm deep in TongFu territory. That's the one thing they have going for them. Hao, by the way, has bought Boots of Travel and now sits on 5.2k gold. So he's got Boots of Travel buyback, and he's about 2,000, 3,000 gold away from his next item, which, whatever it is really going to hurt.
MKB?
Yeah, up against, I mean, who's got evasion on LGD? Actually, nobody, so I think it's a game where you even...
Heart?
Yeah, even Heart, I think.
Yeah, put yourself at 3k HP, a ton of evasion to boot, and until they prove you the fact that you need something else, I think that's kind of the 6th core that you want, the 6th set of items you want, and yeah, he is going to be a big factor here.
He's going to be farming, he's going to be pushing it, he's really good at it, to be honest. LGD, they don't have a hero like an Anti-Mage who can just keep the lanes pushed out. He'll teleport, he'll Boots of Travel in mid, and TongFu, with an Aegis, a Cheese, and 2 lives on their Anti-Mage who has neither of those, they may try and break the base. It's 8 lives for TongFu in this upcoming fight. Assuming the Cheese goes off, 8 lives. That is very difficult to deal with.
TongFu needs to wait. They shouldn't actually push in now until the Boots of Travel comes off cooldown, so that buyback and TP in is available. I'd like them to actually get a heart and buyback on Team Mage. So, and again, they don't have any pressure. I mean, I say that, they're down 2 racks, but they really don't have any pressure to go for the push right now. So, I guess Aegis is running out momentarily, or in a couple of minutes, so there's that. But for the most part, they dictate the pace.
TongFu's playing really well in this game. If you're just tuning in, it's game 2 in a best of 3 for the Dota 2 Super League. The $1 million coming out, oh, sorry, 1 million RMB. God, I make that mistake almost every day. Coming out party for the Perfect World, for Perfect World's Dota 2 action, and that's about 160,000 US dollars. How? Well, working on the creeps. They're gonna get mid pushed in. They have the Boots of Travel buyback. They have the BKB. They have 7k gold on him. They got all the tools to try and force the issue now. If that bear gets caught, but it's scary, but the bear has to run when it sees anti-mage. Normally, that's the exact opposite of what you want if you're LGD.
So actually the bear right now is a very reliable way to shut down the anti-mage. Got the MKB for True Strike, and between the Entangle and Bash, I mean, they can quote-unquote lock down Hao, but one thing is locking him down, the other thing is actually killing him. And I don't know, you gotta get a Soul Catcher, you need to get a crit, you gotta stun him throughout. Kunkka right now has enough gold to finish his data list, but he's saving for buyback instead. This is where you kind of ask that interesting question of, you know, which is the quote-unquote correct decision? Do you kind of go for the big crits here and hope something's going to happen, or do you play safe?
They need more damage. Xiaowe's been sitting on these same items for like 25 minutes, I want to say. He's 14 forward 17, but you look at his farm and you can sort of see the reason why. Only 200 CS at 51 minutes in. It's not that he's played badly, but that's just not the farm that they need. They need a very fat Kunkka to deal, I mean, not so much with the anti-mage, but the entire supporting cast, who could be one-shot if he had farm, but unfortunately isn't. I mean, it's just Xiaowei, all the buybacks, the deaths, the constant ganking. It's kind of costing him now. He has picked up a BKB. I mean, he's used it a few times since, I guess he's had the Demon Edge for a while and he went back for BKB, but still it's just not enough. It's really not. He needs more items. I don't think having buyback even matters on that hero.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the cooldown is sort of low enough, but yeah, I agree. Like, the team fight is going to be decided so quickly that it won't matter even if you buy back if the team is dead. And he agreed. He shells out a data list, which if you get some big crits, it could matter, especially on these kind of squishier backline supports like Leshrac, that Bane. Bane passes cheese to somebody else? I didn't see who.
Yeah, gave it to Moo. Moo now has, by the way, a Hyperstone. So going towards, I imagine an Assault Cuirass, which won't help you against Kunkka if he's hitting creeps or other heroes, but, well, I mean, it depends what he's hitting, but to be honest, I feel like this Kunkka won't do enough even with the data list. I feel like it's a game where you kind of need a Divine Rapier.
Yeah, and I mean, they're not being pushed down right now, so there's time to farm it. Also want to point out that there's a Heaven's Halberd on the Dragon Knight, which I find a very smart choice against the Spirit Bear. You know, put that disarm on him and he's sitting there and actually not doing anything, so.
For the time being, TongFu continues to sit back and bide their time. They sat through that Aegis. They did not really go with it. And I guess now they'll wait for the next one. They feel like that's really a sign of confidence. If they're going to sit back 2 lanes of Rex down and wait for the next Roche, they really believe they have this late. And, well, maybe they do with the way the game's going.
Again, it's more creep wave that TongFu is farming and LGD isn't. This goal graph, look at that, it's been a steady climb, and I imagine it will keep it this way for the longer that this game is going to go. You need a farm in Divine Kunkka, but you're losing the farm race at any moment that we're passing on here.
And even if he gets it, if he gets caught by anyone, and when I say anyone, I mean literally all 5 heroes on TongFu, because they all have disables, and Anti-Mage is also there, he dies. And he drops the Rapier, and the game's over. So
yeah, it doesn't matter if he BK beats before, he still dies.
Yeah, he gets Abyssal, he gets Fiend's Grip, he gets RP'd, and he dies. And they need the Rapier, but it's hardly a reliable way to win the game. It's their only way to do it, I feel. Something like that. I mean, a Rapier, I don't know what else it could be. Lone Druid, I don't think it matters what the bear picks up. The bear, late game Lone Druid Spirit Bear is just very squishy in general.
Hey guys, he has 12 slots. He is the best late game carry. Right?
Yeah. That's why I go double Midas every time I play Lone Druid and Poe.
That's what everybody says.
Friggin' noobs. Haven't you ever seen LGD versus DK in their 90-minute epic game? Come on now. Lone Druid is so good late.
Alright, man. Alright, here's the thing though. I'm constantly checking out the buyback counter, and aside from Bane Elemental, who doesn't have buyback, and he's poor. Everybody else has it. So right now, LG has to win basically a team-wide twice to win this game, and well, kind of don't think they can.
Well, maybe if they get Roche, which is coming up soon, they'll have an Aegis, they'll get a Cheese. That will give them 2 lives of their own. 2 lives they desperately need. But it's going to be tough. I really feel TongFu's going to contest this again. They'll get top lane pushed really far in, and Hao will teleport mid, and they'll go back to that elaborate dance, pushing, slowly finagling the top and middle lanes in, while keeping the bottom lane relatively pushed out. And then, when the moment's right, they'll strike while the iron's hot. They'll try and take Roche or fight. But Roche is up now, and already LGD go on it. And TongFu, immediately they react. Will they get there in time? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, this is going to be a free sneak for LGD. I'm not sure whether they can win the game off of this, but it's going to be some security, I want to say, for the next 6 minutes. Having a cheese on your heroes is not bad as well.
Man. They're trying to cut them off while they retreat. They smoke and they say, let's go bottom lane. If this works, this is one of the most brilliant plays you will ever see in Dota 2. They smoke.
Oh, they back. These Sirs, they use Lotars. They are back just barely.
They almost catch the bear. That would have been a huge boon, too.
Mid lane, though. Maybe if they
God.
catch Xiao Wei right now.
Xiao Wei, is he going to get caught? He's looking to go in. He really doesn't. They just got Aegis and Cheese, and they do not want to fight. Well, maybe they do. Hal jumps in, catches up Xiao Wei. Good disruption. That's going to start the fight in a decent way for them. Xiao Wei gets RP'd. He got off the cheese in time. Will it matter? Epicenter's here. And while this is all going on, Hao is just bashing everyone, but he's not getting kills just yet. Xiao Wei's alive. Xiao Wei's still alive. The bear is neutering him. He's now taking Yao's damage, but he finds one. He may find more. He gets rooted. He will have buyback even if he dies. He blinks forward. He wants Yao. He can't get him yet. Now the disruption. This is going to be the real hero. Your Shadow Demon. Wants Hao. Can't finish him. A blink away. Oh man, Lumi. They defended pretty damn well there. LGD, taking that Roche, getting the cheese on Xiao Wei makes a huge difference.
Yeah, Xiao Wei should have died there, and that should have been the game. I mean, sure, he was low in terms of HP, but when you have a heart, that regen comes through quick. But
yeah,
I
mean, he did actually die. It just took forever to kill him.
Did he buy back?
Yeah, he bought back. He got the cheese off, and they just had to throw so much at him to bring him down that, I mean, it cost them the fight, basically.
Yeah, now he's going to have a little bit of time to farm his Assault Cuirass, which is going to be going for it. But I got to say, that Spirit Bear went full Dota 1 Troll Warlord status on Anti-Mage. It was root and tango, and he was just not attacking at all and until finally he missed one and he got to blink around. But it was some next level disable.
Somehow Hal still has buyback. Hasn't been 4 seasons. I figured he would have died in that fight. That was like 3 or 4 bashes, probably 3 or 4 roots. Still got away with a decent amount of HP, and that was after getting disrupted at low HP. LGD smoked up. If they can fight a good fight mid, this could be the fight they need. They'll go in with Yao now. They're going to catch an anti-mage. It looks like he's disrupted in the front line, but able to actually manta his way out and trying to go to work. He's scythed up. Can they bring him down? They vacuum him back into a boat, into a burrow strike, drops low, buys back immediately. Do they continue to give chase? Let's just wait and see. Moo on the run, brought low, kicked off the table, off the playing field, and now a 4-step forward. LGD, are they finally finding that perfect fight they need?
Oh my God!
There's your RP. KJ delivers, but Hal can't find a kill. Epicenter being channeled. Hal just can't seem to do any damage in this fight. Bash, entangle, bash, entangle. Hal's gonna go down, and there's no buyback. That might be game. 4 heroes dead. In fact, call it game, I think. That's probably it for TongFu.
Troll Warlord OP, please nerf this permabash. This is insane.
It's the MKB on the bear. It's not missing. There's not much Hal can do. And LGD, they really were dead in the water for a while, it felt, but they find a way. You really can't count either of these teams out. Another 60-minute game from these 2 teams. It's a slugfest. It was TongFu's chance to start it off with a big right hook to LGD in game 1, but a left jab from LGD answers back, and we're now going to tie up for a series 1-1 as they farm the fountain. Anti-Mage on the sidelines for a full minute. Lumi, we're going to game 3. Goodness gracious, could it be any longer?
I am baffled. So LG took Aegis and Cheese, and Hal says, alright, they got Aegis and Cheese, let's blink in and fight.
He wasn't expecting them. They smoked, they caught him off guard, but what kind of surprised me that they really forced that second fight.
Yeah.
To be
they
fair,
just defended their base, right?
Yeah, you'd think, but LGD, they take game 2, and it's now 1-1 in this best of 3. For LGD, if they win this game, they advance to 2-1 in the group, and they really want that win. If not, they're 1-2. As for TongFu, they're looking for their first series win here. So, we go to game 3. TongFu, the team that got LGD's invite after their roster change. LGD, a team who's got to fight their way through a very stacked Eastern qualifier for the International 3. The third place team last year with the exact same roster isn't even guaranteed to go to Seattle. This is a big match for them. I feel this is where that championship spirit could be forged. A match like this, can they pull it out? We'll find out next. I'm LD. I'll be on the summit. I'm joined here today by Luminous. Stay tuned. Don't turn the dial. Game 3, a deciding game 3 coming up after this.